Hello, police? Yes, I'd like to report a crime. There was a theft in Austin last night. Suspect's name? Rori Harmon. Yep, 6 steals, and she breaks the Texas all-time steals record. But we will get to Grand Theft Harmon, Grand Theft Auto Swipe. I'm still trying to figure out what nickname we can give her.
You got to give her a good one. It's got to be a good one.
Very Sticky Fingers Harmon,
Um,
what are thieving nicknames?
yep. We got to give her a good one though. One that sticks
We're a
just for her.
cat. I don't know. But in the meantime, this is Club Hoops Podcast, a father-daughter podcast about women's basketball. I'm Natalie Franklin.
I'm Gregory Franklin.
Ooh, what a game. We are talking about LSU versus Texas, the rematch that happened last night on February 5th, where Texas, as the kids would say, got their lick back.
Got it back.
In a big way. It was a game that lived up to the hype. It was as advertised. It was a great game. Overall, our overall impression, or my overall impression, was that LSU just wasn't there to play. They didn't come. It felt like this time they weren't prepared, right? When Texas went to LSU, it looked like they weren't prepared, and now LSU comes to Austin, and it's like, hi, you got a game tonight. Would you like to, you want to play or what? What was your impression of the game before we get into the meat of it all?
I think, like we predicted on the pregame, we saw everything that we had predicted. There was that physicality. It was a game of runs. There was tempo, and then no tempo. I think it was a very, very good game. I think, when teams hold court, in other words, they hold the home court, Texas won on this home court, LSU won on this home court. That's a sign of like two of good teams, right? Winning at home is important. So I really enjoyed the game. There were some things I saw though on the LSU side that keeps rearing its ugly head, and that has to get fixed before you go to these conference championships. So anyway, but no, it was a good game. I enjoyed it.
Right. So the first half I felt was evenly matched. The first quarter, and it was 17-13. And then by the half, it was 36-40 in favor of Texas. But what I will note is the first quarter is the only quarter that LSU won.
Yeah.
They outscored them 17-13. After that, the closest they came was the third quarter when they both scored 17 points.
Yep.
But LSU never really had an edge in this game, which was part of our in our keys to the game episode, which I'll link below. We said that Texas will have the edge because they are at home, and we noted that they're hungry for a win because LSU did hand them their first loss of the season, and so they were eager to play them and show that they're a better team than what we saw the first go round. I think the first half, I mean, amazingly, Texas was up by 4 at the first half. They were getting out rebounded by 10.
Yeah.
And getting outscored in the paint. So I think they were just able to keep their composure and make their shots.
Yeah.
That's what kept them in the game, along with defense. And also a prediction we had that came to fruition. Coach Schaefer did take his blazer off in the first quarter.
First quarter. He meant business.
First quarter, he came up out that jack.
Vic was serious.
He was definitely serious. And also I want to note another key to the game we had was getting Madison Booker involved early in the game, and she had Texas's first 6 points.
Yeah.
Just out the gate, hitting middies, just being the brilliant superstar that she is. She ended with 18 points. I also want to say, we got a comment like, why is MK12 always being overlooked? And because we didn't include her in our keys to the game. Well, she's not being overlooked by us. We just think she's very consistent. We don't have notes for her. She is the one player on LSU that shows up every game and plays her game and does what she's supposed to do. I have nothing to say to her. In fact, if I'm Kim Mulkey, I might even point that out in the locker room. Michaela, you go take a shower. I gotta talk to these other ladies. Just you go take a shower, get something to eat, because you're not the problem.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone else seems to not want to play
yeah,
or pick
yeah,
and choose. So just for the record, she had 20 points, was a game high. The next leading score was at 11, which was Flau'jae Johnson. But if we don't bring her up, it's because we have nothing to say to her.
yeah,
She's a
yeah,
brilliant player. And even though Rori Harmon had the huge assignment of guarding her, and I think Rory did a great job keeping her in ball denial,
yeah, yeah.
but Ella, she's the only one you can rely on consistently. So hats off to her. The rest of you, I don't know what's going on. Before we move on to the second half and get a little deeper in this, anything you want to say in regards to the first half?
Yeah, I think in the first, your point is well taken. The first quarter, LSU came out, played like they really wanted to, quote unquote, win this game. I think they played with extreme tempo during that game, but at the same time, remember, I think it's just that first half where Rory Harmon she wasn't really on Michaela per se, I think Vic put her back in and then told her, hey, you guard Michaela and that's your person. You stay on that person. I think that's how it transpired in the second half. But I think that first quarter, LSU came out. We beat them once, we can beat them again. Texas responded with, "No, you're not. We're going to control the tempo. We're going to play a little bit more physical. We're going to be more defensive minded." Oldacre, although Oldacre didn't like score a lot, she was very physical in that first half, which I thought was really good. You mentioned Madison Booker in terms of the way she played. She played with a whole lot of confidence this game, and it showed in that first half. So, particularly in the first quarter. So, and throughout the game, I'll just add that as well. But yeah, I think those are some of my points. I think one of the things that I found to be very interesting, Kim, I think she sensed after the first quarter that her team was slipping a little bit because I saw her up and moving. She's up and moving anyway in general, but she was really up and moving very rather vigorously and pointing out things to officials, in that second quarter. So she recognized the fact that some things were not quite probably like she had scripted it, but
Right.
I think Texas just had a response for everything.
Yeah.
They had a response for everything. Credit to Vic. Vic said last game that loss was on him. His team wasn't prepared. Well, they looked prepared this game.
Exactly. And you brought up older Cray.
Old Acre.
Oldacre, I swear it looks like Oldacre. You brought up Oldacre. She got in some foul trouble before the half, which I actually was applauding her mentally for not picking
Yeah,
up her third foul because she picked up that second foul pretty early in the second quarter, which was a questionable foul. I thought
very
that was all
questionable.
ball. Even
Very
her third
questionable.
foul was pretty
Yeah,
questionable because she was getting hooked. But I still thought she kept her composure.
yeah,
I think in the future, maybe Vic will take her out with like 3 minutes left to go in the half so she doesn't pick up that third foul. I think even before that, at halftime, we realized another superstar was emerging for Texas in this game, and her name was Aaliyah Crump. Aaliyah
yeah,
Crump came off the bench and just proved why she should get more minutes. Play
yeah,
Aaliyah Crump, Vic.
yeah,
She came off the bench and
yeah,
ended up scoring 6 points. She was 2 for 2 from the 3 point. And, that's really not Texas, nor is it LSU's, but it's really not Texas's identity to be a 3 point team. I think Jordan Lee is supposed to be kind of their 3 point
yeah,
person, and she's kind
yeah,
of in a slump right now.
yeah,
But she came off the bench and got 4 defensive rebounds. She was just amazing for them, even before halftime, and showed she just the and that was one of our keys, right? For Texas, bench production is going to be
yeah,
very important.
yeah,
And she stepped up, as did Sid Berry with 10 points. So I think they had that on their side. Moving into the second half. So, like I said, the third quarter, each team scored 17. But I think what happened in the second half was Rory Harmon really kicked up her defense. I mean,
yeah,
she already was playing way better than she did the last time these two met, right? But defensively, sure intensity on defense carried the
yeah,
team.
yeah, yeah,
I will say she did get picked one time, and Malaysia stole the ball and got a layup the other way. But other than that, she did a really good job of taking care of the ball, distributing it. But her defense, I mean, 6 steals in this one game. And this is the game where she set the program career high record. And
Yeah,
I really feel, and you can tell me if you agree or not, after she set that record, it was like the floodgates opened.
yeah.
Like after she set the record, she just continued to steal, to deny the ball because first of all, Texas is the best team in the country when it comes to forcing 5-second violations.
Absolutely.
Uh, so
Absolutely.
that wasn't surprised, but I just felt like that gave her, and it being at home, that gave, like to your point, gave her that extra energy. So as we go into the second half, what did you see? You could say from Texas that you like. You can even say with LSU what you didn't like. Just
Well, I
interested.
no, I think again, I'm always fascinated about what's discussed at halftime. We never get a chance to hear that, but I look at the play, when teams come out, after halftime, and I think one of the messages that Vic probably gave to his team was we have to we can control the tempo and the pace of this game, and we should do that. And Rory, I'm going to put you back in, sort of permanently and just let you do what you do. Let you do Rory Hammond type things. And so I think for me the point guards to me are very important. I'm old school, right? The point guard for me is very important.
Same.
It's like on the chessboard, you got pieces that you can't afford to lose. Some people fall in love with their knights, some with their queens, blah blah. But me, it's the point guard, and Rory controlled that game from the second half to the final horn. On the LSU side, what I saw, which is unfortunate, I saw Fuwile disappear, and I saw Flage disappear, just totally disappear. And that to me, again, like I said, I wonder what's discussed at halftime because even being down four, it's not a lot, but the message should have been, we can lose this. We need to step up our game. We need to play tighter. Defensively, Texas put it on them. Physically, Texas put it on them. Rory Hammond, let me go back to her for a minute. The thing that stood out to me about players when they get in that in their own zone, they sort of do it all. She was on the floor. She was diving for balls. She
Right.
was down
Right.
there smiling and sticking her tongue out on the floor. Okay. If I'm an opposing player and I see that going on, I really have to step up my game because
Mhm.
that means they're leaving it on the floor, they're giving it their all. So that second half, in just sort of in a nutshell, that second half, Texas came out like they were behind. They played like they were behind.
Mhm.
LSU played like, oh, we got this, we got this. And from there, you saw some up and down, some ebbs and flows, like some runs, and then you saw some not so not then you saw some stabilization of scoring, not necessarily runs. So whatever happened at halftime with both those teams, it was two opposite messages.
Right.
Vic basically said we're behind. We got to play like we're behind. We got to control the game. LSU played like we got this. Let's just play. And then their two of their big time players just simply disappeared. LSU.
Yeah, I mean, starting with Texas for me, with our keys to the game, controlling the tempo, they did that. LSU only had 4 fast break points.
Yep.
Very uncharacteristic for them. They like to get downhill, like they like to run, but Texas was getting back. I mean, at one point when Malaysia missed a layup, someone was running beside her, which does not happen. Malaysia's fast. She
Real
can leave
fast.
somebody this quickly, but they were running with them. Like, and in vice versa. I mean, they had, let's see, they had 13 fast break points. So they too were trying to get out there before LSU can set up their defense. And then let's talk about, and I'm gonna go back, but I just wanted to highlight this: the turnovers. My
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
LSU, they already average about 14 turnovers a game. They had 19. And Texas had 10, which is good because they average 11. And our key was each team need to get their turnovers down.
Yep.
Texas was able
Yep.
to do that. LSU went up. That was a problem. LSU, and I got a lot to say about them. Let's third quarter composure. I believe you talked about late game composure
Great game
when Texas
composure.
goes on their runs.
Yeah.
Now, Texas didn't even go on a run until about the fourth quarter when they went on a 10-0 run. But to your point, it looked like LSU was losing their composure in the third quarter. When they weren't, it still was a close game. So I'm pointing out Grace Knox. She's a freshman, so we give her grace. But it's the third quarter. they're probably down. Can't remember if they're even actually down. It's still close, and she gets a foul called on her. She decides to crash out.
Yeah. Oh,
What are you crashing out for? Like
yeah.
everyone out here, everyone that's played basketball has had a bad call against them. It happens. And during this point of the game, it's so important to keep your cool. But I have to also say, there's no reason to crash out.
Oh, not,
Yeah,
none.
you're playing like crap. I'm not going to hold you. I mean, you ended the game with 4 points. Again, all the guards for LSU played like a disaster. But what are you crashing out for? And thank God that Kim Mulkey saw her crashing out, took her out, had a conversation with her, and it was a while before she got
Yeah.
back in. But this is what we're talking about composure. So much so where your team's trying to calm you down and you're slapping their hands away.
Yeah.
Now you're doing too much.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
officially doing
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
No composure there. And so that's a perfect segue into how you said Flaude went MIA. Again, on our keys to the game, when I said Flaude has to show up, she's got to play her game. Someone was like, why are you bringing her up? This is why. It either takes her a minute to get going, or she just goes MIA. Because let's not forget, was that the Vanderbilt game? She had 0 points.
0 points.
She's on two extremes. She's either balling out of control or she's not nowhere to be found. She was 3 of 14 yesterday.
Yep.
Like she is so important to this team. I really feel like everyone takes their cues from them. You would think they would just look at Michaela and like, okay, you're producing, you're scoring the ball. Let's follow your lead. But for some reason, when Flaude is not doing well, nobody's doing well.
Yep.
Your
Yep.
point about Malaysia Fuwaili, Jesus. Another thing I said our last episode, she had 4 turnovers the last time she played Texas. Hey, let's get that down. Malaysia told me, no, girl, we're getting it up. She had 6 turnovers by herself. By herself, 6 turnovers, 4 fouls. Like, why are you even in the game? Like, yeah, she's finished with I think about 11 points, but I mean the turnovers, and I understand if you're playing point guard, you are going to have probably more turnovers on the court, but 6 is absurd.
Yeah.
And it was just a bad game for the guards specifically, and I just was very confused by that because again, how we keep saying this game was very much so in reach.
Yeah.
Like they weren't getting blown out. They were right there. And it just felt like everything just fell apart in that second half, specifically, obviously, the fourth quarter with that 10-0 run that Texas opened the
Yep.
quarter with.
Yep. Yeah.
But you like,
But let me
go ahead.
say this though, before you go on, let me say this. This is what made it a little bit easier for Vic because now LSU is very predictable. The only
Yeah.
one that was scoring was Michaela, right?
Yeah.
I just got to worry about her. I'm not, again, Ray Charles can see. You're not getting anything from Flage. You're not getting anything from Fuwiley, right?
Right.
You're not getting anything from those two, and those are supposedly your big guns. All right, you're not getting anything in the paint,
Yeah.
nothing in the paint. So the only person that can hurt us is Michaela. And guess what? Harmon, get on her, stop her.
Yeah.
She did. So that made it much easier for Texas. So I think LSU became a lot predictable offensively.
Mhm.
Defensively, I never felt like they settled defensively. There was some good one-on-one moments from the defensive side where they, stole the ball a couple times or deterred someone from a layup because they were running down their back. But this whole situation in that second half became apparently clear to the Texas bench, the coaching staff, that hey, offensively, only one player is going to beat us today. These other two, it's not their night. Defensively, they're also confused defensively.
Mhm.
Also confused defensively. So we don't have to worry about that. We just have to stick to our game plan, whatever it was he told him at halftime.
Right, right. I think the pick and roll was working very well for Texas, and I think they defended the pick and roll very, very well for LSU. But speaking of LSU and predictability on offense, great point. It was a lot of one-on-one basketball, and
Yeah.
Kim even mentioned that to her team in the first quarter. To your point you made earlier about Kim saw something saw something about how their offense was trending, what direction. It was too much one-on-one basketball, not enough team basketball, not
Yeah,
enough moving the ball, moving without the ball. Everyone knows one-on-one basketball is very easy to defend because why do I need to move when you're the only one dribbling?
yeah,
Why do I need to guard someone way over here? You're the only one dribbling. Now we got late into the shot clock and you're going to have to put it up. And therefore, that's why they had a lot of bad shot attempts too, or lack thereof, right?
yeah, yeah.
I think it did get predictable because it was very apparent they weren't playing team basketball, that
Nope.
they were either going to try to go one on one or one out type of thing. Even the fast breaks, I get it. They're a fast break team and they like to just get downhill and shoot it. But there were some steals or fast breaks they had that it wasn't there and they forced it. It was a lot of trying to force things to
Yeah.
happen instead of playing the LSU basketball we've come to know and love, of just letting it come to them, maybe moving the ball around more. Also having a good time. They all looked miserable out
Yeah,
there.
they didn't look happy at all.
And again, they weren't down by much. They were not getting blown out. And I'm like, y'all look absolutely miserable out there. It wasn't a fun time for them, which again, I get it, hostile environment. You're playing against a team in their crowd, but y'all are right there. And I feel like they just were like, we're ready to go home. I'm ready to go back to Baton Rouge.
It's well, I shouldn't say it's unfortunate. I guess it's just part of the game at the college level. It's really it's really unfortunate that the LSU stars, and I'm just going to say the two that I've been talking about, Fuwiley and Flage. The LSU stars on a big stage like that, ESPN, prime time here in California for the most part,
Yeah.
didn't show up.
Yeah.
It's just that part, is not good. One of I'm gonna say essentially Fuwiley should have shown up, should have really pressed the issue offensively. Yeah, if you miss some shots, fine. But if I'm the leader of that team, it's like, hey, I kind of have to have the ball. I have to play. Rori Harmon's a fifth year senior. Okay, fifth year. She made sure she put her stamp on that game. Right? This
Right.
might be my
Right.
this is my last time playing LSU. Okay, in my career. I have to put my stamp on this game. Last time we played them, we lost. I felt like Flage should have had the same type of mentality. This is probably this will be my last time playing Texas. I have to show up. Texas is a big time team in the SEC. This is part of my resume.
My
Okay,
legacy.
my legacy. But we just didn't see that. We didn't see that from her.
And to piggyback off that, you reminded me what I wanted to say about Flauj, excuse me, Mylasia Fuwiley, who I'm a huge fan of. We know this. We sing her praises. And I said if this was the Harlem Globetrotters, she'd be superstar. Unfortunately, we have to actually win these games. We can't just be flashy. We can't just be box office. You
Right.
have to
Right.
put the ball in the basket. You have to not turn the ball over. My worry about her is now that she's in her third year and we're coming to the end, right? We're slowly
To the
but
end.
surely. I'm still not seeing her develop as a player, as someone who can potentially be a professional and give a team some quality. I don't even call them quality minutes, but quality play, right?
Yeah.
Quality point guard play, because that's
Yeah.
what she's been. That's what her coaches, Kim, Dawn, have been trying to make her into a point guard. She's a great player. Please do not get me wrong. But when we get in these situations, Flausche has the same problem, by the way. It's just not as bad as Fuwiley, but when you get in these competitive arenas and you have to turn it up, turn a corner, flip the switch, activate something, I have not seen her be able to do it.
Yeah.
I think Flauj can do it. I think she just picks and chooses when she's ready to play and
Yeah.
picks and
Yeah.
chooses, right? That's a whole nother mentality. But I'm not sure Mylasia can actually do it. This is the third season. We're almost towards the end, and we have yet to see you activate something, be it on defense when they need it. Now she has some good defensive plays, even
Yeah.
last night. I can give that to her. but we have not seen her been able to make an actual impact, I guess is
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not sure she'll ever be able to turn that corner. Not to say she'll never go to the W or never play professional. I'm just not sure you'll ever be the go-to person or the main person. You might always be a backup to the starting point guard. You might also always be second or third off the bench because while you are a great player, you are not the X factor,
Yeah.
which I would love to see her become, especially as she, progresses through her college career. But I'm just not seeing that player development. And you've now had two coaches, and they can't. Kim can't pull it out of you. Don couldn't have pull it out of you. Is it there to even be pulled out? Now I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Like, are you even able to do it? Like, I still don't see her as a point guard. I
Yeah.
don't see her as a
No.
floor general.
No. No. No.
I think she's only put in point guard because of size, but other than that, I'm not sure why these coaches are pushing her to be
Yeah.
a point guard. Like, and again, we saw a pure point guard last night in Rori Harmon. You compare those two, there's no comparison.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm gonna say that this is what I've always said about, unfortunately, the media, whether it's the campus media, the general media. I've
Campus
always,
media.
yeah, I've always said this. You have to be measured with certain terms, and greatness is one of them. You just can't bestow the title of greatness upon these players, and then all of a sudden now there's an expectation that they have to live up to, whether that's self-imposed pressure by the player, whether that's now imposed pressure by the media. This term greatness, we have to be careful with. And so I don't think I have not given Fuwali the title of quote unquote great. She's a
Fair?
good player.
Yes,
She's a good
yes,
player. But when you talk about great, you're talking about somebody who's coming in and taking over, when
yes,
they need to take over, whether they come in from the bench, whether they start the game. Well, you need to see that. And what makes them great is they do it against great teams like
yes.
Texas, like South Carolina, like UConn. Right?
UConn, yeah.
Yeah, you have
UCLA.
UCLA. You have that performance against great teams. So we haven't seen that from Fuwadi. And I say all that to say this. It might be time to start thinking of her as a good player.
Okay.
A good player.
Fair,
Yeah.
fair.
And I'll be honest. Um, in terms of Flage, she is teetering on, good player.
Yeah.
That
She's
she's had the
towing
good.
that line.
And she's teetering on that. And I don't know what's going on in her world. We don't know what goes on in these players' world after they leave the court. But she's in and out of certain games, but she's teetering on, getting redefined as a good player. You have to show up for Texas. You
Yeah.
have to show up for UConn. You have to
Yes.
show up, in these games. So
Mhm.
so that's how I kind of see that greatness thing.
100% agree. Well said, Greg. Speaking of South Carolina, LSU has South Carolina on Valentine's Day. I cannot wait. The drama.
Love
Oh,
is
the
in the
drama.
love is in the air.
Love. There'll be no love in the
Love
air
is
that
Valentine's Day. Love is in the air.
let me tell you, there will be no love. Texas has Kentucky on the ninth, who almost beat Vanderbilt last night. Van Basketball was great last night. If
Oh,
you
it's
didn't
great.
watch any games, my God,
Yeah,
Louisville
yeah.
lost to Duke by one, which of course I sing Louisville's praises, and then they go out and do that. Ole Miss lost to Alabama by one. There was a controversial call there. Just, I mean, I had a projector, my laptop, my TV. Like, I was trying to watch it all, and I just great basketball last night. Congrats to all. And then Texas plays Vandy on the 12th. So they've got some tough
Yeah,
SEC gauntlet. They've got some tough stuff coming up. February basketball is just whoo, buckle up.
yeah.
Put your seatbelt on. Your flotation, you can use your seat as a flotation device. Put your mask on before anybody else's.
Yeah,
All that
yeah.
stuff they say on the airplane.
Danger, danger, Will Robinson.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like, subscribe, share. What did you want to say about that?
No, 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 just
You
like Lost in Space, Will
okay, thank you.
Robinson. It's a
You're gonna
boomer
give
thing.
us the
It's a boomer
reference.
thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, yeah, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
sure.
You don't know who Will Robinson is, but
Not a clue,
Speak to
but
my
I'm sure he's a
yeah.
lovely man.
Mm,
Um,
he is.
Comment, tell us what you think about this game, what happened with LSU, and actually, what are your thoughts about Fuwaley and Flau'jae? Like, where are we going? What's going on? Again, MK12, you're perfect, babe. Never
Yep.
change.
Yep.
Um, Anything else before we get up out of
Nope.
here?
Nope. Thank you much.
Dad.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
Yep.
appreciate it.
Great game.
Anyway, great game, more to come. We'll talk to you guys soon. Again, like, subscribe, comment. Have an amazing day. And yeah, we're out of here. Bye.
I thought.
Hook 'em.